So anything that's moving through the screen of your awareness, see if you can just let it go. Breathe it out. Check in with your shoulders. Any tension that you're holding in your shoulders, let it go. As you breathe out, imagine any stress or tension that you're carrying in your shoulders, in your face, just melts away. Soften the muscles around your eyes and your forehead. Feel the lungs expand to their full capacity, taking the deepest breath that you have all day. And exhale out with a sigh. Okay. 2 more. The deepest breath, even deeper. Another sip of air at the top of the inhale. And exhale, let it go with a sigh. Last one. Bringing hands to prayer, set your intention for your practice. I'd like to make this a devotional practice and include inversions to turn our reality on its head, literally. Get a new perspective, be a fresh outlook, and then also a little bit of a restorative class. So we'll start with the complicated matters first. So if you would please come to standing at the top of the mat. We'll warm up a little bit. Mix together aspects of both the sun salutation and the moon salutation. Get into inversions. Specifically handstand. I'd like to keep that rather light to start and then build up to more advanced variations and approaches. And since inversions can be relatively taxing on the nervous system, inversions, back bends, they're very invigorating for the nervous system. And after our handstand fun, we will move into more of a yin restorative approach to practice. So we'll come to standing. Top of the mat we go, Samasthiti. And I'll go this way. Take a moment to round through the feet. Bringing hands to prayer. So rooting down, connecting to Apana, Vayu. So that wind of gravity flowing, imagine it coming in through the crown of the head and down the spine, releasing the tailbone, sinking into your heels. And then Pranavayu, as you inhale, you might even lift the toes up. You want to lift the quads, deep lower belly draws in and up, heart lifts, and extending up through the crown of the head. So exhale, Apanavayu, gravity. Inhale, Pranavayu. You might imagine a wind coming from the center of the earth. Maybe for all of you hollow earthers out there. Inhale, drawing up, and then exhale down. If it helps to use the hands, do it. You can draw up on an inhale, and down on the exhale, pushing into the earth. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Upward salute, inhale, reaching skyward. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Yes, shake your head, yes. Wiggle your toes, rock back and forth on your feet. Tense your fingers, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. We'll plant our hands, step back into down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, pedal out your heels. Now when you're ready, you'll inhale and lift the heels, coming forward into plank, your Phalakasana, and exhale, rock back into your down dog. Do that a few times at your own pace. Inhale, lifting the heels forward for plank pose. As you rock back and forth, you shouldn't really have to move your hands or feet too much. So you come forward into plank, shoulders are directly over your wrists, and then lift for the hips from down dog. We'll meet in our plank pose. 3 deep breaths in and out through the nose, warming up the body. We'll lower the knees. Heart between the hands for cat bow for this first round. Elbows glide past the side body. Then lower the hips. Inhale, lifting the heart for cobra. Oh, exhale, let's come back into child's pose. Round the lower back. Scoop out the deep lower belly and rock the hips from side to side. Coming into tabletop. Inhale. Exhale for cat top. Few rounds of cat and cow. So flip the hips. Inhale, heart forward. Screwing the hands into the floor. And exhale, curl the tailbone under, round the spine, chin to chest for cat. Inhale, heart forward, cow. And exhale, cat. Flip the hips. Heart forward, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. So downward dog and forward fold, both inversions. Just getting used to the blood rushing to the brain. Big breath in, slow breath out. Big breath in, slow breath out. Relax your shoulders and your face. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Palm the mat. Now lift the right leg for 3-legged dog, keeping your hips square. 3 breaths. Reaching out through your heel. Keep the left knee slightly bent, so micro bend. Spiral the eyes of your elbows forward and slide the shoulder blades along, down the back. See if you can get a little longer through your side body. And right foot comes down. Inhale, lift the left leg. 3-legged dog, 3 breaths. Now connect to your palms. Reach out through that left heel.
and the left foot comes down. Tiptoe to the top of the mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana.
So now what I'd like for you to do is to lift your heels and bend your knees. So the weight's in the hands. Just see if you can rock forward a little bit. And then lower. Try that 2 more times. Just come onto your tippy toes, palms flat on the floor, and shift the weight into your hands. Look down at the ground. Then 10 the fingers, halfway lift, or you can bring your palms to your shins. Actually, let's all reach back behind us, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Big inhale. Forehead's parallel to the floor. And exhale, release. Roll up to standing nice and slow, so root through the feet. Head, neck, and shoulders are the last to come to center. Palms spiral outward, Tadasana. Big inhale. Through the nose, slow exhale. And we'll move into Surya Namaskar B, or variation. Bend the knees, come into chair. A little warmer. We'll bring hands to prayer to take a twist. So left elbow to the right knee. Now look down to make sure the knees are level. And inhale to center. Right elbow, left knee. And inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Take peace fingers, grab them around the big toes. Draw yourself in so your shoulders are toward your ears and elbows out to the side. Then draw the elbows in towards your shins. Lift the heart, inhale. And exhale, draw yourself in. Now plant the hands. This time we're going to hop back into our plank pose. Landing with soft elbows, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog.
Point the right toes back, sweep your leg up. This time we'll roll the hip open because it feels so nice. Breath or 2. And stepping the right foot forward between the hands. Let's come into Virabhadrasana 1. So left heel turns down, reach the arms forward and up. We'll hold 3 breaths, warrior 1. Look up towards the sky. You want to get really heavy in your feet and anchored in the outer edge of your back foot as you bend into the front knee. Release the hands down to the side. You'll hug the left knee in towards the chest. So you're shifting into the right foot. Hug the left knee in. And take your peace fingers, wrap them around the left big toe. And you can extend your left foot forward and out to the side. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Inhale, come forward, hug the knee in towards the chest. We'll transition through Virabhadrasana 3 to high lunge. The left toes flip back behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up. And open into warrior 2. 5 breaths in Virabhadrasana 2. Releasing the tailbone down. Look at your front wrist, look at your back wrist. Flip the palms up. And then from the wrists only, turn the palms down. So as you flip the palms up, you want to spiral the whole bone, the whole arm. And then from the wrist only, from the thumb, turn down. That's effective. And reach forward and back. And sometimes we're really overreaching forward. So a little sahaja is nice. And you can flow here, lifting the right leg, palms touch overhead, back to warrior two. Or just hold static. Straighten the right leg. Turn or lift the toes. So you're pivoting on the heel and you turn the right foot inward. A wide-legged forward fold.
So take hold of your ankles, draw yourself in. And you can skandasana from side to side here. Just warming up, meeting in our wide-legged forward fold. If you'd like to add a twist, right palm comes right below your nose, and left arm reaches skyward. Move at your own pace. Left hand replaces the right. You can even tip your fingers here. And peace fingers around your big toes. So wide-legged forward fold. Feel the blood rush to your head.
Elbows out to the side.
If you'd like to reach back behind you and interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders open. Let the head hang heavy. Quads are lifting. You might even lift your toes up off the floor. Try spreading the mat between your feet. And hands catch the hips, elbows up towards the sky, and come up with a flat back. Heels in and toes out for goddess pose. Let's add a lion's breath. So you're going to take a big inhale. There's 3 rounds. Exhale, stick your tongue out. 2 more. Last one. 5-point star. Now pick up your left toes. So you're on your heel, turn your left toes in, pick up your right toes, pivot on the heel, turn your right toes forward, and we'll stop or step back to the top of the mat. Few breaths. Find your ujjayi, so in and out through the nose. We'll come back into our chair pose. So sitting low, releasing tailbone down, reaching the arms up. And again, adding a twist. So hands to heart, left elbow to right knee. This time we can open up the arms, take that twist a little deeper. So concentrate on the thoracic spine. Hands to prayer, inhale to center. Right elbow, left knee. Open up. Hands to heart, inhale to center. Exhale, fold. Now this time take your forearms and wrap them around the backs of your calves. Draw yourself in for 3 breaths. Lifting the quads a little bit more, straightening the legs as much as you comfortably can. And inhale, halfway lift, plant the palms. Now you can either hop back into plank as we did before, or hop to the bottom of your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Point the left toes back behind you, sweep the leg up and roll your hip open. Hello. Just hang it out for a few breaths. And round knee to nose. So close that left hip off,
Round knee to nose, step your left foot forward between the hands, right heel turns down. I like to shorten and broaden my stance. That might work for you if you step your right foot out to the side a little bit. And reach the arms forward and up. You're anchoring into the outer edge of your back foot. Heavy in your feet. Lift up through your side body and gaze skyward. Few breaths. Release the hands down. You're going to hug the right knee in towards the chest. Some Shiva. Few breaths. Relax the shoulders down. And if you like, take your peace fingers, wrap them around your right big toe, and extend your heel forward. Woo. All right, ground first through your left foot. There we go. Extend your heel forward and out to the side for Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Try and find some length in your standing groin. Inhale to center and float the right foot back into Virabhadrasana 3 to transition into high lunge. So right toes, as slow as you can, bring them down over the ground. And then reach through. So high lunge. Oh, it feels really good. Gotta get that psoas. Oh, then come into Warrior 2. So it's a really nice transition from a high lunge into Warrior 2. Typically, I do not transition from Warrior 1 into Warrior 2. I'll transition from high lunge into Warrior 2, as I feel like it's a smoother setup. So I require, and most bodies, I feel, this is my opinion, require a shorter stance in Warrior 1. And then you can take this nice big stance in Warrior 2 and really get some depth in the crease of the left groin, releasing tailbone down. And then also, you want to bring your hands to the ribcage. Especially in Warrior 2, feel the relationship between the rim of your bottom ribs and the rim of the top of your pelvis. And see if you can stack them up. Explore that. And then reach forward, reach back, add a little movement through the arms, and then you might settle into stillness. Now for me, the back foot, the back big toe is in slightly. I know some people like to cue that the edge of the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat, and it really depends on your groin and where the feeder heads are rotating in the socket, and every single body is different. So if you want to try both ways and see what works best for you. Extend that left leg, especially if your thigh becomes a bit fatigued. Bend and extend. You can pulse. As long as we're moving with breath. And then we'll straighten that left leg, round the heel and lift your toes. Turn your left toes in. There we go. Wide-legged forward fold. Any way that you want to move here. It's best to close the eyes so that you're really not
so concerned about what it looks like, it's about what it feels like. Now, if you'd like to take a twist here, it's a little complicated, but if you take your right hand and bring it just above your left knee, and then take your left arm, your elbows are going to cross, you're going to take your left arm on top and bring it just above your right knee. And then see if you can twist open and get your head underneath that left armpit. Ooh. So this is a great side body stretch. Now you can bring your hands down further as you open, but right at the knee is good. And then keep your left hand where it is, close off, take your right hand out, bring it on top, right hand over to left knee. So now your right elbow's on top. And see if you can look underneath your right armpit. Delicious. Can it be yummy? Keep it sweet. Come to center, heel toe your feet in, and or you can hop in, and we're going to come in squat, so malasana. So that was our warm-up. A few more breaths, just enjoying the heat that you've cultivated. Before we expend too much energy, I'd like to move into handstands. So perfect timing. The sun salutation and the moon salutation, especially the sun salutation, are really designed to build heat in the body. The moon salutation helps to target some of the more plastic muscles in the body that take a little bit more time and attention and heat to melt. So marrying the two components is great for a warm-up or even an entire hour session. But we wanted to give you just a little snippet so that we can get warm enough to try our handstands. Now, the way I like to address this first is always by using the wall. And give you a side view. So you're just walking up the wall. Now, I've seen like a disconnect. Sometimes people's feet will slip. So I'll give you a few different approaches. Maybe this way might be good too. For those that have a mental disconnect, sometimes I'll have them start away from the wall and walk with their hands, and as if they're walking upstairs. And then once you get used to this, you can lift your toes because you're driving your heels into the wall. What happens is once the hips get over the shoulders and the head, there tends to be a little bit of a freak out mode. Like you want to press the eject button, but don't. Just stay firm in your hands, look at your hands the whole time. Whatever you do, don't pull your hands away from the floor, and let your hips go skyward. Drive your heels into the wall. Now you can even do this, if you are a little timid, you can do this one leg at a time. So you're pressing into the wall, let the hips go up, 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 up. And then work both, and then lift your toes. Look at your hands. So my hands are a little far forward, so I'm going to walk them in.
So just be mindful. Legs are long. So you're making an L with your body. So I start with this L shape whenever I'm working with newbies. Then you can lift one leg at a time and continue to look at your hands. Now, once you've tried that a few times, rest in full child's pose. And inhaling up. Take a moment to roll out your wrists. Whew. So hot here. We're, of course, supposed to practice in a warm room. All right. So round 2. And we can do this in the middle of the room, and when we're ready to kick all the way up, we'll use the wall again. We're going to turn it around now. So for this one, you come into, I'll start with this leg. You come into a 3-legged dog, right? And then your foot that's down on the ground. So this one's going to be lifted. This one, the heel is going to come towards the boot in. So you'll lift, look at your hands, kick. And then lift, kick, and then we'll switch with the hands, lift, kick, and lift, kick, child's pose. Have fun with that. Just a couple rounds, 3 to 5 on each side. Remember, we're going to do this again. And don't worry, we're getting close to our yin approach too, so just enjoy. Ready to come up from child's pose. Fingertips towards your knees, and let's just get a nice stretch. So fingertips towards the knees, and then spiral the eye of the elbow forward. So towards the front of the mat. So if I bend the elbow, bending in towards me, and you'll feel this run all the way down the front of your forearm. And then you give a little massage. And then the other one.
Eye of the elbow, spirals forward. You can slide the shoulder blade down the back. Okay, so for those of you that are still new to handstands and inversions, use the wall for the same approach that we just did, but we'll take it all the way up this time. So make sure that you won't knock any pictures up off the walls. Set up your base foot. Again, whatever you do not take your hands up off the floor. So I'm going to move this. Shoulder blades down the back. Lift one leg. Kick and come on up. Wall's there for you. And you might extend both legs. Hang out for a few breaths. Take one heel up off the wall and then the other. I like to bring my head to the wall to get both heels off the floor. And come down nice and slow. Now if you kick up on one side, then you have to kick up on the other two. That's the rule. There we go. Look at the floor. Breathe. And then rest. When you're ready to come out, we've got one more approach. So we'll take 10 breaths in child's pose. Inversions are about reversing blood flow, getting a new perspective, kind of resets our wiring, shakes everything up. And then also cerebral spinal fluid as well. Say after the age of 30, it no longer ascends quite as easily as it did when we were younger. So turning our snow globe upside down helps to get everything moving. So this next approach is the pike, and this is the final one before we switch gears completely. So level 1 would be to come into downward facing dog. Bend your knees deeply and just try and catch some air, some hang time with your hips. Moving forward a little bit. Look at your hands. You want to land real soft on your toes. My legs are long. And then you can work on trying to pike up a little bit. And child's pose. So try that about 6 times. That's super invigorating. So afterwards, just to break it up a little bit and come into the heart, we'll do Ustrasana or camel pose. So come on to your toes, tuck your toes under, come on to your knees, excuse me, tuck your toes under.
We'll reach back for the heels. So releasing the tailbone down. Hearts up. Once the breath comes into the heart and the back of the neck, then you can let your head rock back. And if you are feeling very open, you can unfurl your toes. Pose, counter pose, coming into rabbit counter. You can either hold onto your heels, now keep the necks of your feet down on the ground,
And this is an inversion as well. And hold on to your heels and get into those rhomboids between your shoulder blades, or interlace your fingers and roll your shoulders open. So I'll show you both.
I personally like holding onto my heels and rounding the back towards the sky because then I can get into the rhomboids, which are actually pretty difficult to target. And you rest in child's pose.
You can come to natural seat. Take 10 breaths with your eyes closed. Scanning the body. Dropping your awareness down into Hara, Muladhara Bandha lifts. And Uddiyana Bandha. So navel draws in and up. Jalandhara Bandha, chin lowers, elongating the back of the neck. Spinal cord breathing. Come back to the intention that you set for your practice. Remembering that all of our strength and even our physical body is borrowed. And with as fun as it is to stand on our hands and be upside down, this is a devotional practice. And it's really important that we don't lose sight of that. So if you have a proficient handstand practice, then feel free to pike up at the center of the room, or you can come with me on the wall here, and I'll demo, and then you can kind of flop up there with me, if you will. But remember, whatever you do not take your hands away from the ground, because that's the only thing holding you up once your feet leave the floor. So stay rooted in your hands, and remember we're working with the vayus of apana, gravity pulling you down into your hands, and prana, the anti-gravity or upward flow through the body. All right, so you plant your hands, look at your hands, and try and pike up and down a few times. Let your heels come to the wall. Relax, relax, relax. Root into your hands. Activate solar plexus. Shoulder blades down the back and breathe. And when you're done with your handstand love, fun time play, let's come onto our backs, and if you have a strap available to you, bring that with you. Oh, yes, we have arrived. So take your strap, lasso across the big toe ball mounds of your right toes. The sole of the left foot can stay on the floor with the knee bent, or you can slide your left foot forward. Let's take several rounds of breath into the back of that right leg, into the hamstring, into the calf. Shoulder blades are heavy. Your heel is reaching up towards the sky, and you're pressing into the ball mounts of your feet evenly into the strap. So both the big toe and little toe ball mount, they're level. And let's internally and externally rotate that right leg. So heel in, heel out, heel in, heel out. Since you're upside down, you can just cue often when you're standing on the feet, but try it lying on your back, of lifting out of the arch of your foot and see what happens. You pay attention to the little divots beside your ankles as you rotate the femur head in and out, and then maybe press into the big toe ball mound, and then the pinky toe, pronate, supinate the foot. Walk your hands up the strap, and then eventually you'll be able to, catch the foot, but don't try and force it. Everything's happening in divine timing. And remember, Lakshmi likes you. So gather the strap into your right hand and take your left hand to your left hip and guide that foot out to the side. We did this standing earlier. It's much easier lying on your back. But keep the left side body weighted. So manifest gravity. Connect to apana on that left side. Inhale, come to center. Left hand takes the strap, take it over to the right. You might reach the right arm, take your right foot over to the left.
And you might reach the right arm out to the side. Turn your gaze to the right. And again, you can use the strap, but over time, you might take hold of the foot. Now your right hand's free, so you can also use your right hand to maybe like your thumb to manipulate the QL there on the top of your right hip and your lower back. And inhale, come on up. You might take hold of your ankle or your calf or your forehead towards your knee. Let that left heel float up off the floor. And release. We'll switch sides. So gather up your strap again. Right foot stays on the floor. Left foot comes up towards the sky. Ball mount is across the toes. The ball mounts of your toes. So not the arch of the foot, but the ball mounts of the foot. And the big toe ball mount and the little toe ball mount are pressing into the strap evenly. So they're flat. You walk your hands up the strap as far as you can go. The strap is simply an extension of your arms. The arms are long and relaxed. If you want to, well, be careful of the buckle, but if you want to wrap your hands, you can. Shoulder blades are reaching down into your mat. And if you like, you can extend the right heel forward. Forward, back, up, down. Everything gets a little topsy-turvy. Right, left. Directions in space. So a little tremble in your leg is a good thing. That means that your muscle fibers are literally unraveling. So maybe go to, like sometimes the leg will really start to shake. It can be kind of scary at first if you don't know what's going on. You want to find that sweet spot right before the tremble. So if your leg starts to tremble, maybe back off just a smidgen. Deep breathing into the belly. Direct your breath down that left leg. Maybe walk your hands up the strap a little bit further, and then maybe eventually you'll catch the foot. But if you catch the foot and it starts to pedal this right leg up off the floor, then you've gone past your edge. Try that internal and external rotation of the foot. I'm going to bring my strap back in. So if you want to deepen your practice, in order to become more advanced, we must learn to respect and identify the true edge in the body. Sometimes, yeah, we can get the foot all the way up here, but if we pull up this right leg to do that, then we've gone beyond our true edge. And gathering the strap in your right hand, maybe left hip. Oh, excuse me, we'll go out to the side first. So gather the strap in your left hand, right hip, and take that left foot out to the left hand side. A few breaths. Then manifesting gravity on the entire right hand side of the body. So keep that right hip bone down. That right buttock planted into your mat. And inhale to center. The right hand comes up to replace the left, and now we'll cross the body. So left hand, left hip. Try and keep that left shoulder grounded as you bring that foot across the right side of the body. Turn your gaze over the left shoulder. Extend the left arm out to the side. And inhale, come on up. And bring your forehead up to meet your left knee, elbows out to the side. Lifting your right heel up off the floor. And release. So hug your knees in towards your chest. Take a happy baby, and our final pose will be cradle. So enjoy happy baby. You might bend and extend the legs out to the side. Rock around on your mat. Nowhere to go, just enjoying exactly where you are. This really awkward, vulnerable position. Happy baby. And remembering that any sense of control that we have is set against the backdrop of our utter and complete lack of control, our vulnerability. So windshield wiper your knees from side to side when you're ready to come off. We'll take the right ankle onto the left knee. Use your right hand to press the knee away. And if you'd like to increase the stretch, interlace your fingers behind your left leg. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. So until you feel the opening in your right hip, we'll take 8 breaths here. Full inhalation. Slower exhale. Switch. Right foot comes down, left ankle onto the right knee. Pause for a moment using your left hand to press the knee away, checking in with this side. And then hugging the right knee in towards the chest. Use your elbow to press that left knee out to the side a little bit. Deep breathing into your left hip. Full inhale. Slow exhale. When you're ready to come out, windshield wiper the knees from side to side, and we'll move into Shavasana. So you can either place a bolster underneath your knees, or you can take the feet wide and let the knees fall in towards each other. Since you do have your strap available, nice thing to do is to kind of tie yourself or your knees together so you don't have to hold them up. And then bring your fingertips, your index fingers to touch and the tips of your thumbs to touch. Bring your fingertips to your pubic bone so your hands are at your hara. Roll and tuck the shoulder blades under the back. And we'll breathe all the way down to the pelvic floor. Allow your femur heads to become heavy and sink into the sockets of your hips. Filling all the way up as you inhale. And follow the navel towards the spine and the deep lower belly towards the spine as you breathe out. And relaxing the perineal floor. With each out breath, bring in the mantra Ah, A, H. And imagine breathing out through the crown of your head. Surrendering to Source. Anchored in the body, the deep lower belly, breathing out through the crown of the head, A, H. Surrendering to the divine.
Speaking of the divine, Durga Kirtan is here. And Durga is a manifestation of the divine feminine. She's a Hindu goddess, and she rides a white tiger. And this is my Durga Kirtan. I'd like to encourage you to acknowledge the divine in your practice, and the divinity that you are, a manifestation of all the faces of God. Durga Kirtan, destroyer of yoga mats. So when you're ready, and if you're ready, come onto your side and up to a comfortable seated position. Bring one hand to your heart and one to your belly. So if we connect to the hara, the culmination of the lower three chakras, Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipur, and to the high heart, and then to the crown of the head, even above the crown at the transpersonal point. If we can hold our awareness in these three places evenly, honoring all of the truth teachings, many paths to God, to divinity, to source, to creation, to Buddha, Allah, Jesus, Krishna, many faiths. Christianity, Judaism, Muslim faith, Jainism, Baha'i. However you connect to the divine. Acknowledging that you are part of all creation, and the intelligence of the universe resides within. Bring your right hand and your left hand together at heart center, that representation of the left brain in your right hand, the divine masculine, and the right brain in your left hand, the divine feminine. Bring them together at the heart, at the high heart, one finger at a time, connecting lifeline to lifeline. Recall your personal intention for your practice. And we'll close with a round of Om. Taking a deep breath in. Om.